Alright, I'm going to do my best here to show you guys how I trade. I'm basically mostly a momentum player. Okay, my ideal situation is what we got going on in this chart, where it's, we got this nice strong upward move. It's got just these small pullbacks and it keeps moving. So I like to play that momentum there. In this case, the reason why I entered in here and not back here is because I wake up at 3 o'clock Mountain Standard, so I missed out on this run because I was busy sleeping. But in this case, we had this nice strong run, and he pulled back and consolidated. What I figured is he was going to continue on this upward trend, so I placed a 1/5 size order here. The reason why it was 1/5 is because we had, here isn't breaking that peak. Okay, so I didn't want to risk too much, and once we got the confirmation of it meeting that peak, that's when I add the rest to make a full size position. And then this was a pretty strong bar, so I tightened my stop in the 1/5, and I already had a take profit here set for the 4/5. Because of this, you can barely see it. There's a downward trend line here from the longer time frame, and as you can see, that turned out correct. Now I could have entered it again somewhere in here, but I didn't because we were nearing this. I put these vertical lines here for economic data. This is an example of a reversal play I'll make. After a strong downward move like this, we consolidate. I use this in combination with the larger time frames to see if I'm able to reverse it or not. And typically on my reversals, I tend to either keep my trailing stops tight, or I'll have my take profits tight. I won't look to ride this out because it's in an overall downtrend. So anyways, we consolidated. As you can see, I marked the bounds here, and I had orders waiting for when it broke. And once it broke, I went in on a 5th size because, we were still pretty strong downtrend, hadn't broken this trend line, so I didn't want to risk too much. And as it went up, I kept my trailing stop real tight here, and it got triggered here. If I wasn't as aggressive with it, I was willing to put it here below the green line, then I would have taken profits at the trend line here, because like I said, it's still in this strong downward trend, so I want to get out. And then if he's going to break that, I'll wait for the pullback first, then I'll place a limit order above the trend line in case he does break, but he never broke. One example here, we consolidated for a while, then kind of broke out, but then it shot right back up. And I saw this momentum building here, and in combination with the larger time frame and the fact we were breaking this this downward trend line, I long a 1/4 size. Now the reason why this was a 1/4 size is because this move was so volatile, pretty much straight up. I figured we were due for a pullback, even though we were breaking this trend line. So like I said, did a 1/4 size because of that. Waited for the pullback, and then I add the 3/4 here once we break out again. And then I take the 3/4 here at this downward trend line, and I left the 1/4 size on because I had, I kind of had a feeling it would break this upward trend line here, but I wasn't positive on that. So, I take the majority portion out, and I just leave the smaller portion on with a trailing stop, and it ends up getting triggered here. And this is an example of when I try to trade consolidating times. It's when I tend to get chopped up. In this case though, I played it well because I knew that it was choppy. So like for example here, we broke out, and I short a full size, and I take half here at this the support level because I wasn't too sure if it was going to continue or not. It pulls back, and my stop out was up here above this dotted line. I end up adding the half back on here, and I exit it there. And this first half here, I tighten the stop on it because I figure if we're consolidating here, I want to get out, and because of these two exits combined, even if I get triggered here, I still come out ahead. And that's what happened. I took a small loss on the first half size back here. And then he started breaking out, so I long a quarter size. Now, the reason it was a quarter size is, you know, I wish I could squeeze this chart in a little more. It was still in an overall downtrend, and you know, as you can see, it's still kind of choppy. You know, it wouldn't really be breaking out until it broke out like somewhere up here. So that's why I did the quarter size. And we got some more confirmation, so I add another quarter. Now this second quarter that I add here, I probably shouldn't have added on here because of this, you know, how strong these green bars are. I should have figured we were due for a pullback, so I should have waited for that pullback and then add to it. But that gets stopped out over here. And on this one, my stop was pretty good. It could have been tighter. It could have been back up here, but that's not too bad where I had it, because it was breaking this pullback here. And when I get stop out, I short a half size, and I take my profits here because I figured we were going to react to that level because we were kind of, you know, bouncing off of this support level here, and the larger time frame showed that it probably would have bounced off here. Now, had I held on to this for the long run, I might have made some more money, but what I like to do is I like to, you know, take my profits here and then wait for the pullback, and then I could have entered again like in here or maybe even down here. You know, because, you know, I'd rather take my profits and run and then worry about maybe jumping in again later versus just holding on to this all day and hoping that it just keeps, you know, continuing to head down. But I hope I explained it, how I trade, you know, fairly well. I know it's probably not very good, but you know, I just wanted to give you guys the basics. If you have any questions, just post in the comments.